serous pericarp. Alright? This is the apex of the heart here, the point of the heart. And where you see this adipose tissue is where we find the blood vessels that I have diagrammed on the board. Okay? Now, up here would be the base of the heart. And this dark tissue here is the atrial tissue. So a lot of it's been cut off here on this side. But before we look at the atrial tissue, we want to find the two large arteries. So this one that you see right in the middle belongs to the aorta. If you put your finger inside of that, you're going to feel that you're feeling a very thick wall right here. It'll be cold, you're still thawing. That's the left ventricle. Okay, so you should feel a very thick wall between your thumb and finger, and that's the left ventricle wall. So a bit collapsed, but you can see it here if you're careful. So here's some adipose tissue. When I pull that back, see that other vessel there? And that's more towards the surface of the heart. So now if I put my finger inside of that, and it's a pretty sturdy wall. Okay, so again, right there. Put my finger inside of that. Get it in. Hold on a second here.
Oh.
So, notice how thin that is? The reason I was having trouble was it was cut so low, it was actually cut into the pulmonary trunk. So I have very little of my auricle on that side. So this is actually my pulmonary trunk right there, but that illustrates how thin that wall is. So the vessel in the middle is the aorta, and then anterior to that would be the pulmonary trunk. Okay? Since my pulmonary trunk is cut so deep into the space, all of that is much too large. Alright? So, with that pulmonary trunk facing away from me, so it's towards the front, that means my right atrium is over here. So if I look inside of that, I'm looking at the right atrium. And the right AV valve would be down where my thumb is. But I have no auricle to show you. I do, however, on the left side. So this darker grayish brown material is the atrial auricle material. So this large opening right there is where all the pulmonary veins would have been coming in. But I'm cut too close for that. But what I want to show you is this structure right here. See how it's kind of cauliflower, scalloped, is the auricle. So I'm going to open up that up just a wee bit and show you the pectinate muscle. The pectinate muscle is absent from my right atrium. So there is the pectinate muscle. Okay. Now this band is kind of like a comb, and the back of the comb, the rib, and the hard part of the comb, and then the comb ridges come down. So that part there is called the crista terminalis, but it's not a structure you have to know. Okay, if you see it in your reading, it's just where the source of the ridges are. And the rest of these ridges here are the pectinate muscle. Then the rest of the atria is very smooth. And down in here would be the right AV valve. The left AV valve. Now, there's two different ways you can cut the heart open. You can cut little windows, flaps, like your models show, and kind of open out. The easier way to do that, instead of just cutting those little windows when you don't know what you're cutting into, is to cut the heart completely in half. What you don't want to do is cut between the two atria. You want to cut, so you have one atrium on one side and one side, and the other cut, you want to cut this way. So you're cutting between both atria, not separating them. Alright? So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, show you how to make that cut, if you wish. So I'm going to squeeze it flat like this, and then I'm going to turn it on its edge, plunge my scissors into that, and cut all the way around. Okay? So you just kind of have to cut blindly. You might have to go in and make additional cuts, but notice I'm cutting through both of those. And I'm going to turn it over. Again, cut along that edge. part, this looks like it, so this is actually my, part of the, this looks like it's in the left ventricle, but it should actually be over there. Oh. So, I'm just gonna cut that down. So here's my thin right ventricle, and here's my thick left. So, if this is my thin right ventricle, then that means that this vessel right here, notice that this is a semilunar valve right here. That little loop right there. That's a semilunar valve. So if that's coming out of the right ventricle, would that be the pulmonary trunk or the aorta? Coming from the right ventricle. Semilunar valves are in vessels leaving the ventricle. Pulmonary trunk is in the right or the left? Right. Pulmonary trunk is carrying deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So it would be coming out of the right ventricle. That would be pulmonary trunk. And you can see more of it in this view over here. So here's the rest of my pulmonary trunk. And I know that this is a pulmonary semilunar valve because it doesn't have any atrioventricular, sorry, it doesn't have any chordae tendineae attached to it. So I'm trying to get a handle of this. Let's see. Component there. So if we look at the left side, notice the large left thick vessel there. So that would make this the left ventricle and that the papillary muscle. So that would be an atrioventricular valve. And I have a thick wall, so that makes it the left atrioventricular valve. Okay? So leaving that thick left side, this is kind of a bit weird here. Here is the semilunar valve for the aorta. Notice that opening right there? You see that? That's a coronary artery. So coronary arteries leave what? The aorta or the pulmonary trunk? The aorta. So I know that that's an aortic semilunar valve because it's got a coronary artery. Now, let me pause here. When the ventricles contract, are the semilunar valves open or closed? Open. So that's going to push the semilunar valves and it's going to cover up the coronary artery. Right? So, does the heart get its blood when the ventricles are contracting or when the ventricles are relaxed? Relaxed, because as they're relaxed, this fills with blood, opens out, and blood can now go into the coronary artery. So, that makes sense because if you think about these arteries on the surface of the heart going down into the heart muscle, and then the heart contracts, what's it squeezing to those arteries, due to the arteries as they're down in the heart muscle? It's squeezing down, so blood can't flow through the heart muscle while the heart's contracting. The heart muscle has to be relaxed, and then the blood can flow through the heart muscle. So the blood flows into the coronary arteries when the ventricles are relaxed, and the coronary arteries have moved away from the wall, opening up the coronary arteries. However, what happens to your heart rate when you exercise? It goes up. So what happens to the amount of rest period? You go from 70 beats a minute to 120, you have less time that the heart is relaxed. So right when the heart needs more blood supply, it has less time to get it because it's beating so many times. So that's why people that have narrow blood vessels or blocked blood vessels have angina with exertion, because they're needing more oxygen and with narrow blood vessels are getting less because there's less relaxed time. Okay? So I'm going to come around now and help you find these structures. Go ahead and identify your aorta and pulmonary trunk if you can. And if you feel comfortable, cut it in half. And then when I get to your chamber, I'll help you. I mean, your chamber. When I get to your table, I'll help you find the structures. Okay? So when you are done, if the heart pieces of meat go into the plastic lined box,